Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another live recording of our podcast, Are You Green? And we're really excited to be with you guys today. I love streaming live. So, I am going to be doing this on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want up-to-date news every day, just, a tidbit. And then also discussing my trading strategies so that we can all be in this together. So you can go ahead and hit subscribe to the YouTube and then check out the Are You Green podcast, because that I do record and post it every single day. So with that being said, let's get down to business. Hello, traders and friends. Welcome to the Are You Green podcast. Today is Wednesday, December 2nd, and we have a lot to talk about. Up on the news today is around the vaccine in the UK, as well as the UK market. About 5% of the listeners of the podcast are in the UK area. So, you guys definitely know a little bit more than me, but I'm excited for you to listen to how the UK affects the US when we go over that segment. I also have so many personal trades to talk about. The NIO Swing has been really a great learning process with all of you guys. I know yesterday I probably overreacted because I was very concerned. I had sized into that trade a lot. So stay tuned to figure out what happened when I put a lot on the line for that NIO swing and the results. So we'll take a short break and what am I thinking? Oh my goodness. Let's talk about the SPY today. So today the SPY opened at 364.82. Previous close was 366. It's now sitting around 366.60. Is it green? Barely. Yeah, it's barely green. People have described it today as being a little flat. The XLK indicator for the technology sector, you guys know that I always watch that indicator since I trade so many tech stocks, both day trades and swing trades. So that opened at 124.53, which was lower than the previous day close at 125. It's now sitting around 124.77. Is it red or green? It's red. So we do have a little bit of a mixed market with the S&P being green, XLK being red. And the question everybody wants to know, are you green? Yes, I am green on my personal accounts. I feel really happy with where my accounts are. And obviously you'll see the results in a little bit with the recent day trades and swing trades that I've made. So stay tuned. We'll go over briefly the news and then get into the trading details. Great. So I'm just going to save this segment before we move on. Again, this is being recorded. So for those of you who are watching this in the past, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click the like button. I really appreciate it. It's awesome to see the podcast grow and then now this YouTube channel grow. So I'm really excited. I do want to do more on YouTube and that will definitely be coming down the pipeline. So anyways, let's dive back into the important issues here. So today the news was very exciting because the UK revealed that they are ready to start with the vaccination process. This is huge because people in the United States have been, really driving the, vaccine production, watching the news every second on what's happening with the vaccine. We've pretty much proven as a country that we cannot listen to instructions and we cannot get this pandemic under control. So at this point, the vaccine is our only hope. So that's why, people are watching it so closely. And for the UK to announce that they are ready to start vaccinating people is exciting for them. But on the other hand, it is leaving a lot of people in the United States a little upset that we are behind. There are meetings set for the FDA to review the vaccine in the US on December 10th. But yeah, by that point, they'll already be vaccinating in the UK. And that kind of brings us into the UK market. Today, Goldman Sachs came out with a call basically saying that the UK market is down, Brexit, COVID, all of those issues, but that this, lower market represents a huge opportunity for the future. I personally only trade on the New York Stock Exchange. However, for those of you out there who have international accounts, you can also, switch over to request international trading with your current brokerage. You might want to look into investing in the FTSE, is what they call it. It's FTSE 100, really similar to the SPY in that it's an ETF. So it's combined companies. It's, relatively safe to invest in. So if, that is something that you've always kind of been interested in, now is the time. So that's really it for the news today. People were talking about if stimulus is going to come through. I did have one hilarious quote that I have to find and share with you guys. So everyone's frustrated because nothing's happening in Washington. And a senator today said that it was stupidity on steroids if they cannot pass at least a small relief bill. So in the next few weeks. I just thought that was hilarious. Typically politicians try to, be a little bit more calculated with their words, but I mean, stupidity on steroids definitely fits. I, watch Shepard Smith from CNBC. He's also given huge criticism about the fact that, we cannot push through any financial risk. It's really a struggle that the political differences are affecting Americans and our economy. But anyways, there are still a lot of hopes out there for relief soon. So, we'll stay tuned to that. Let's dive right into my personal trades. So I did execute a day trade today, actually two, as well as, working on my swings and entering into a swing. So let's talk about the day trades first. I bought Lemonade, LMND. I bought it at 62.87, and this trade went by so fast. I, again, wish I would have sized in a little bit more, but it bounced so quickly up from 62.87 that I didn't really get a chance to buy more. And again, I don't like to chase the market. I like to put my buy levels and let the market come to me. So the market came and it came fast, and then it bounced right back up. So I ended up selling that for 65.49. It's a 2.6 gain, net point gain, which is really ideal for me. I'm very happy about that trade. I also made a small day trade with BYND, BYND. BYND is actually a trade that I'm holding in my account for a long term. I have a few tickers, BYND, Wells Fargo, etc., that are, again, in my account for more of a long-term strategy. That, however, does not mean that I can't trade those tickers for, short-term swings or day trades like I did today. So I saw BYND, take a dip today. I bought at 135.39. I was a little bummed because, I should have bought a little lower. There's so much going on today that I barely caught my attention. And then I ended up doing a quick sell at 136.75. So it's a 1.3 gain, which is really great for a day trade. And again, it doesn't affect my long-term trade. I still have my shares in there for the long-term for BYND. Speaking a little bit about long-term investing, I do have a pick for you guys. It is CRM. So this is Salesforce. They just went through, a crazy, push because they had earnings, and the earnings were, below what was expected, but at the same time, they're buying Slack. So there is a lot of opportunity there with Salesforce, and the drop that we saw today, and yesterday after hours was kind of, an emotional drop because of earnings. So I do actually think that this is going to be a great long-term buy. Right now it's sitting around 221.50. So for those of you who out there who only look at long-term strategies, I'm talking to you, Dad. You should definitely consider buying around this price. I would even buy it around 225. This company, Salesforce, is more ingrained into other B2B business than you can even imagine. So I do know that, over the course of time, this is going to be a great stock to hold on to, a really strong company. So that's my pick for long-term investors. And let's kind of dive into the swings now. So yesterday, you guys know that I entered into a NIO Swing, NIO. I love trading the electric vehicle stocks. They have a really great movement, really great spread, and tons of opportunity for profit. Only yesterday, I felt like it was a disaster. It was expecting it to bounce. It didn't bounce. I was expecting it to go even lower and bounce, and it didn't bounce there. So, in the trading world, we call this like a falling knife, and you just don't know where the knife is going to land. And you definitely don't want to try to catch it, right? But since I was already in the trade, I decided to wait it out. I didn't want to put a stop loss in, as I talked about yesterday. And I told you guys yesterday that it was probably going to drop to that lower pivot at 41.54, and boom, it did. So today it dropped past that lower pivot, and I bought at 38.75. I was already in the trade, so I knew that if I bought a little bit more at that lower price, I would really bring my average down and therefore maximize my profit. Once I executed those orders, my average was 45.05. So quite far down from where I was before, like 47 or something. So with that, because I'm average down, you have to change your sell prices. So originally my sell was at 48.41, but now I have the opportunity to sell lower and still make that same profit, if not more. So I did go ahead and put my first sell in for 46.48. It went through and I got 1.43 point gain. I just sold a small amount just to take that little bit of profit. The gain, isn't what I wanted for a swing trade, but considering how far this dropped and, the concern that I had, I wanted to be a little safe, size down, and take that profit. I put another piece, about 2/3 of it at 47.08. And that sold. So that was a 2-point gain, just what I'm looking for a swing. Really happy with that. And I'm not done. I am leaving on another small piece, the last third of my position, for 48.19. So, when that comes, it'll be my final sell with NIO, and I'm not concerned, especially since now I'm really sized down on that trade. It's funny because obviously this trade worked out really well. I told you guys yesterday, don't follow me into this trade. So for those of you who did follow, good job. I don't know how you did it. And for those of you who missed this, I'm so sorry. I just don't want you guys to lose money from any of the suggestions that I give you, although you are responsible for your trades and your trades alone. So that's what's happening with NIO. I did take a look at Tesla and I cringed. Yesterday during the podcast, we talked about Tesla. And I specifically said that, 549 would be a great price to buy if it drops down that low. And I had so much stuff going on this morning. I didn't, because these shares are so expensive with Tesla, I didn't put any live orders in because I wanted my cash to day trade Lemonade and day trade Beyond and all these other trades. So, it was a bummer when I saw not only did it hit the 549 price, it even dropped lower at 542, and then it bounced straight up to 571. If you guys are looking at the chart and wondering, how it got to that 571 level on that bounce, and, because I was not surprised, that was the low of the day from yesterday. So that's the thing that I love about trading, is that the charts don't lie. The data in there is real, and these patterns are fairly consistent. So I wasn't surprised at all that it stopped around that point. And really, with this Tesla movement, I just should take my own advice instead of, just speculating. So for those of you who bought at the level I said, 549, congratulations. And for those of you who didn't, just, take it with a grain of salt. There's always going to be other trades out there. There's always going to be other Tesla opportunities. So we'll continue to follow that ticker. Speaking of opportunities, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is a new swing that I entered into. The ticker is CRSR. It is a gaming company, and I want this to be a little bit more of a long-term swing. So I started out at 34.85. That was my average. I have a buy-in to continue to size into this at 30.70. My target for this is around 37.25, and then I have a higher target at 40.50. So these are all the levels on the CRSR ticker that I'm looking for. And I'm just really excited for this long-term swing. It also just makes me feel good when I have an order in at that lower price at 30.70. Anywhere where it goes below my average 34.85, I'm like, great, like it's even better. I'm like, please fall, please be red. So those are always fun to watch. But that being said, I put in this info for possibly up to a 90-day swing with CRSR, depending on the movement. And, and I'm going to not watch it like a hawk. So if those of you, continue to follow CRSR and maybe I don't talk about it, I'm in it until I tell you guys that I sold it. So keep that in mind for a long-term swing. And with that being said, thank you to everyone who is watching the podcast on the live streams on YouTube. You can also visit my YouTube channel and see all of the past live streams. And I will be streaming live for the podcast on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So for the listeners who don't want to wait a couple hours until each episode gets posted, you can watch it live. But thank you guys so much for listening. Please make sure to continue to follow, and I can't wait to trade with you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. I love how it's kind of like a phone call. I'm like, love you guys. Bye. But anyways, that is the end of today's podcast recording. Thank you again. Please subscribe. Please like. I also have an Instagram account that I love having, direct conversations about my trades on. It's at RU Green Podcast. So be sure to check that out as well. And I'll see you on Friday for the live stream. Take care. Bye. Again.